All right, well, hello everybody. How are you? Welcome to Palm Beach. You're getting to know it quite well by now. This is your tour guide, Richard. I think you all worked that out already. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. We have a beautiful day here at Pittwater, and I'm going to be taking you on a ferry ride. So Catherine, hello Catherine. Just let me know, can you hear me all right, Catherine? That would be really good and make me feel a lot better. Hello Joanne, how you doing? Can you hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me all right. Hello Tarek. Hi, I saw that photo of the bears today. Ollie and Jimmy, can you hear me all right? Just tell me you can hear me, please. Excellent. I saw that lovely photo of Ollie and Jimmy today. Good to see them. Good to see them. Pamela, hello. Hi, Aaron. Excellent. Well, let's get going then. As I said, it's a beautiful day. We're going to go on a trip to the Basin. The vessel is right behind me. That's the lovely old reliable Myra. Of course, we did try to do this a couple of weeks ago, and we had streaming problems over the other side. So I wanted to see, I'm glad to say I've connected first time here today, and you can hear me fine and you can see me fine. Let's see how we go when we get across. So it's 8:45 now, pretty close to that. Let me give you a quick look around where we are here. It's fairly early morning here. There we are. And there are people heading off for picnics. Hello. And looking across the water. That's where we're going today, right across there, beyond the boats there. That's the Basin. And of course the Ku-ring-gai National Park. Across there as well. All of that. You're probably all familiar with this now. What has been wonderful this winter has been so many gorgeous days. We have woken up every day to days like today, blue skies, quite cold, but fresh. Let's say it fresh. Let's say it. So look, as we go across, if for any reason you do lose coverage, well, if it gets really bad, I'll switch to Facebook Live and see how we go there. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be positive and everything will be good, and you'll get to see a lot of good sights. It's autumn. We've had a pretty good run, really, haven't we, with the dolphin tour, which I was thrilled about. And the whale tour, which wasn't quite so thrilling, but it still went all right. The whales, they get us through the summer, like a lot of places that tend to be dry. We need rain, but at the moment I think we're fairly well off. I'm just walking along the wharf here now. Hello, Michelle. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, Joanne, let me just. Put my glasses down. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. It makes it so much more worthwhile when I know that you're going to join me. Yes, the dolphin tour. Actually, I have had a lot of very nice feedback about the dolphin tour, and that's a very special one for me, because basically I was down there on the beach on my own. With the dolphins, and it was a lovely experience, and I was so glad that I could share it with you as well. So yes, it's getting on for 8:45 now. I had a very busy day yesterday. I was out with my grandchildren. We went to the Powerhouse Museum here in Sydney, which is a pretty lovely place. It's a science museum, and lots of things for kids to do. So that was my busy day yesterday with my grandchildren. It's the final day of the school holidays here today. The kids go back to school on Monday. So last chance to spend some time with them. look at the very peaceful, turn it around there, a very peaceful morning here at Palm Beach. The water is very clean, which means that the marine life coming closer. And then looking across here towards West Head and the tip of the Ku-ring-gai National Park. And I think I mentioned to you on the tour the other day, thank you, Michelle. They're pretty much fun themselves, to be honest. I mentioned the other day on the boat trip when we went out to see the whales, the Gonzales boat shed. Well, there it is. There, it was set up by two Portuguese sailors back in the mid 19th century, about 1850. And they came here as fishermen, and they liked the area, and started fixing up boats and building boats here, and it's been here ever since, and the family's still been here ever since. They haven't really wanted to move away. You probably can't blame them for that. And that's where they spent. Because on the old Hago tours when I used to go to the Basin, I had some lots of lovely old photos I could show you of the trip across, going back, well, right the way back to the beginning of the century. I might post them on Facebook, my Facebook Pittwater Playground page for you to see, because I can't show you them now, the way that this is set up. But at least we're talking, at least you're hearing me, and that's the main thing. Well, just keeping my eye on the watch, don't want to miss the boat. And looking up there, some of the lovely houses ago. And two of the very earliest constructed homes at Palm Beach. They're still here today. Worth a lot more than they were back in the 1860s. Beautiful homes, and beautiful outlooks as well, of course. Let's just wander down here and have a look at the Moira. Let's see when they say we can go on board.
You have to go.
Actually, there's a boat from the Gonzales boat shed. We were just talking about it. It's one of the little cutters they use to get around. They're bringing a sailor ashore. Just walk across to here. I'll hold on tight so we don't go in the water. There, what a lovely view, looking out across the central coast, across the Hawkesbury, to another national park on the other side of the water there. Name escapes me for the moment. I should know what it's called, but thankfully all of this area was saved as national park, so no development on that side of the harbour anyway. All pretty much as it was when Captain Cook first came here in 1782. Because there's the Fantasy cruising vessel. That's the one we go out whale watching on. Looking. Well, yeah. Hello, Sandy. How are you doing? Yeah, it's very beautiful. I keep saying I know that there are many beautiful places around the world. It's not a competition, but this is definitely one of them. And of course, it's so handy because we can be here on the water, and an hour later I can be in the city if I choose to be. Not that I like to be very often. And looks like the Fantasy's ready to sail now. There we are. People are going across the Central Coast. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
And then when we're ready, we'll pop on the Mara. Let's go put the. All right.
Okay. Bennett, Bonnie Doon, Basin, Mackerel.
We'll pop out to the front here. It's where we normally go, isn't we? Anyway, so far so good. We've still got good reception, and we'll get ourselves right up the bow, just like the Titanic. I hope it's not the Titanic. Oh, Sandy, well, I'm so glad you're here as well. Put my bag down, and I'll give you some good spins around. There's the little Mara looking up there. You can see the captain's cabin up there. It's a little timber boat, probably built about 1940, 1950, and it chugs back and forth across this beautiful harbour every day. Yes, they're just saying. Actually, I'll switch it back to me for a minute. There you go. They're just saying the vessel on the other side that goes across to the Hawkesbury. There's been quite a bit of sand building up on the estuary on that side. When we go to Ettalong, that's a different tour that we do sometimes. The sand has been built up so much that they're no longer able to get into some of the little wharfs over there. So you have to now go to the main wharf and then get a boat, get a bus to take you the rest of the way. Bit unfortunate, but these things happen from time to time here, and they will get they'll get boats in that can dig out the trench, so that the boats can go back in all the way to Wagstaff, which is one of the other jetties that's no longer available at the moment. But these people are just asking, how do we get there? I'll just turn it around again. Okay, how's that now? Any better? Let me know, please. I may have touched the mute button by mistake. Anything better now? Oh, good. I think I might have hit the... right. I may have hit the mute button by mistake, which is down there. I need to be so careful. This isn't a very good design, this screen, by the way. If you touch the wrong thing, you're in trouble. Okay, let's turn you around, and hopefully we'll... Okay, I think I must have hit the mute button by mistake. I must have done that, but we're okay, back in business. That's a relief. That's a big relief. I'm just going to say, be quiet for a minute. Let you see if you can hear the bird life. Of course, the birds have decided to stop singing now. There was a large currawong just giving us a song. Yeah, okay, Michelle. Well, I think we're back in business. So it is, in fact, it's lovely just being able to hear the silence, the lovely, the gentle waves, the birds. Okay, we just heard them bring the gangplank aboard, so that was a bit noisy. We'll survive that. And they are, both vessels seem to be sailing at the same time. I'm going to just sit down because it's probably a little bit, while we're going out, I'll just get my feet. And there's the lovely Barrenjoey house just through there. I'm just going to change the setting on there. There you are. You can see the lovely Barrenjoey house. Of course, you're all familiar with the map of the area now. It's on Pittwater Playground, so you should have a pretty good idea where we are and where we're going. Just reversing out and looking down Snapperman's Beach. Still fairly quiet Saturday morning. A lot of people have been probably had late nights Friday nights. They're not too active this morning. And at this time of the year too, where are we now? July. It's quieter. We don't get so many visitors here now. The basin is pretty much fairly empty, I'd imagine. There may be a few campers over there. So this is a great time of the year to be going over to the basin. Come summer, it gets pretty busy and full of visitors and groups, school parties. There we are, looking back across the harbour now, the lovely Lion Island. You can see, of course, why it's called a Lion Island. I'm just going to prop myself up here and looking out across the Central Coast. That's where that other vessel is going. I'll just pay my fare and we'll be honest and all ready to go. Are you getting off at all? I'm getting off at the Basin. I'm coming back on the next one.
Yeah, no worries. I'll just do the one way for now.
Oh, sure. I'm a senior, by the way.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I remember you from last time.
Yes, I do this tours regularly.
Start there, sorry.
Promote your lovely tour.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Here we are. We're legal. I've paid my fare and we're all set to go. Incidentally, just a quick message to some of you who have been kind enough to send me tips recently. I do appreciate it. Now you know who you are, and what I'd ask you is please don't go overboard. Those of you who do, the same people every time, and only a few, but the same. And I really, really ask you to, be careful. And the most important thing for me is that you're here. You're all here. That's what matters, not the tips. Today's tour doesn't cost me very much at all. It's the ones when I go across to the whale watching, and the one I went to Vivid when we went into Sydney. There we are, looking across the water ahead of us, a little yacht going out on its own steam, and looking back down the harbour. That's called Stokes Point. You might just be able to see a house on the point there with a flagpole. Believe it or not, that used to be the Russian embassy, Russian ambassador's residence there a number of years ago. A lot of local people don't know that. And then looking in there, where you'll see a lot more vessels moored, that's Creel Bay. That's actually where I live, just in that spot there. Creel Bay, we've done a couple of tours down there. We go down to I think we went down to the wharf once and had a lovely coffee and sat there and chatted at Creel Bay. And then looking up above us there, the highest spot on the northern beaches, and of course many houses, beautifully. The trees, Michelle, I just say what matters to me is that people are here, and I love being able to share this with you. And if people can afford to leave a tip, that's wonderful, but I don't expect it in any way at all. And like a tour like this doesn't cost me anything really, but the whale watching and going out to Vivid, that can get quite expensive. But then I get the pleasure from it as well, from doing it. I get the pleasure from having that experience. So I've got no complaints. And thank you for your thoughts anyway, Michelle. So looking across here, that's Currawong just over there. That's belongs to the local Australian unions, and they use it as a place for holidays for their members. It's rather a nice thought. It's been in the hands of the Australian Union for many years. But this area here, as you can see, we've talked about the headland, and we've talked previously about the custom house and the amount of smuggling that went on here back in the 1840s, 1850s. A number of the people who lived here just on the edge of the basin were convicts who'd escaped from Sydney, and they found their way up in this direction. They thought they were going to get to China by escaping from Sydney and going north, but all they found was the Hawkesbury. So instead of trying to swim the Hawkesbury, which would not have been a good idea, they settled here around the edges. There was a lot of smuggling. It was not actually a safe place. It was quite dangerous. Of course, they survived by fishing, and one of the areas that they spent a number of them lived in was this Coasters Retreat, which is what we're going to be seeing. We're seeing now. I want to make sure you get to see everything. Looking back, you can see in the distance there the Palm Beach Lighthouse, and then a little beach just tucked in there. We can't see it at the moment. That's my favourite beach. It's where I like to kayak to. That's Resolute Beach. And all these little beaches and the accommodation here, the houses, the bungalows, really, they are all only accessible by water. Thank you. I do appreciate it, Joanne, very much. And that house up there, stuck away in the hill, the lady who lives in that house is an American lady. I think she's from Wisconsin. She came out here for a holiday once, fell in love with the area, managed to find herself a house up there, and that's where she now lives. I've spoken to her. Name's Kathy. I've spoken to her quite a few times actually. So that's where she lives, Kathy from Wisconsin, and that is the wharf she uses to get onto the boat. Of course, this boat service isn't just for tourism. It provides a good service to all of the residents on the Ku-ring-gai side of the harbour, and brings them their mail and equipment and so on. Anything that they need brought across is brought on the ferry. Isn't that lovely up there? That's where Kathy from Wisconsin, she's a lovely lady too. I think she's an artist. Kathy from Wisconsin lives up there. I'm not sure which of those two houses it's in. I think it's the one just behind the main one there. There's one in there, you see it? And look at the shoreline, the lovely rocks, they're beautiful. Looks like we're going into Bennett's. And let's keep our fingers crossed we get a signal, and the signal keeps going. So far so good. To trees, to the houses. And you can imagine those early convicts who settled here. A lot of contraband was brought ashore here on these little beaches. It could still be there for all I know, under the sand. So yes, they would bring the contraband. They would usually whiskey and tobacco, which if they landed it. Oh yes, Joanne. If they landed it in Sydney, they'd have to pay large taxes on it. But bringing it in here, they could avoid the tax man. I'll just give you a swing around. Yes, it is, and of course a lot of extra. You can see all the moorings, which aren't currently being occupied, but I assure you, in summer they're all occupied, and it's very hard to find a place to moor. People come over here for their holidays, for the Christmas celebrations. The same people come every year. Oh no, Michelle did it. All right, well, let's just keep our fingers crossed. This is 2 kilometers off the coast, and we had a good signal pretty much, apart from a few little. It's got high sides to it. You can see the sides, the cliffs up there, the hills, and so it is a fairly protected area. Summer. Yeah, we don't have seafood, cold wines, beers, of course. Christmas in the summer. Yes, we have Christmas in the summer. I don't miss it, but I used to enjoy Christmas on the other side of those pine trees. Getting off here. Go back a bit. Reception, I suppose. But in the past, when I was